Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hi. Hopefully you're having a great evening. Incredibly sorry about the delay. Listen, as soon as I was gonna hit, start and all that stuff, I swear to God, the moment I do that, okay, my neighbors outside, they're great people. They keep their lawn impeccable. But it's absolutely terrible if you're trying to do anything. Sometimes, especially last year, you could hear just a little bit of lingering outside noise as well. And I have no idea what they were priming, a two-stroke or some shit like that. It was fucking unbearable. Couldn't put anybody through that, so I kind of had to wait on that. So that ended up delaying me another half an hour, so not all that fantastic. So I'm going to keep the rambling to a minimum, an absolute minimum on this one, because we have so much to cover. It's a couple of different debates that I've wanted to cover for quite a while. I just need to make sure that I click the right one here. So yeah, you guys might have seen this one. This one came out like 3 months ago or something like that. Pearl's on the panel right there, just pearly things, and this is probably her best showing. And I know a lot of people give her shit for being a grifter, and she's come out and said that she's more of an entertainer. She's kind of taken her entire show directly from F&F. Okay, like she's the best of a group of people that probably doesn't really need to be there. Women opining on men's issues, but you know what? Hey, she does offer some value, and I don't think I've actually ever sat down from toes to titties and watched this entire debate, but I figured, hey, fuck it, we might as well add some additional context over top of this. I think it should be good, and yeah, I've definitely seen some. I've seen some clips from it, so I know that Pearl does a good job. That's on there. Sydney Watson, my personal favorite. She is also on this panel as well, and yeah, she makes it all about herself. And then she tried to grift off of that, and then not long afterwards, well, she just decided to take all of the goodwill that she had off the back of this and spin it into that Blaze lawsuit that went absolutely nowhere at the speed of smell. So we have this panel that's right here, and I want to shout out everybody that's over on Rumble, if there is anybody. I haven't had the opportunity to look. Literally, I just took a piss, and I just came over here, and it's like, okay, we're live, finally. I kept everybody out there just in limbo long enough. Fucking Christ, it said at the beginning it was going to start at 6:30, and here we are about an hour and change later. But it's not all that bad. We're eventually going to get to it, and if you're watching the replay of this, fuck it, it doesn't really much matter at the end of the day. So I'm going to hopefully work in the background, send out some notifications, because I've probably exhausted everybody's notifications, especially on the YouTube side, over the past couple of hours. Listen, you got like, what, an hour and a half of content today, because fucking Christ, there was a bunch of news that ended up dropping. And what, because you got, okay, AOC trying to take credit for killing off Tucker, which, weird, and that one kind of had to get released today. Everything that I talked about today had to be released today, because there's no other way that you can keep on top of the Bud Light news without doing a daily segment. And again, that shows absolutely zero signs of slowing down. So yeah, got to keep on top of that, especially because yesterday's video ended up doing what, like 12,000 views. So shout out to everybody who turned out for that one. I really appreciate that stuff as well. I don't even drink, but you know what, if I see woke shit, we got to call it out, of course. And then yeah, the Crowder stuff that developed today, who the fuck seen that coming? Like, okay, he was saying that, you might have heard some things in the background, and even when Candace Owens was talking her shit there earlier when the Daily Wire contract offer came over, I never would have thought at all whatsoever that would have been in relation to Crowder going through a divorce. But I guess in retrospect, you can kind of opine that, yeah, he wasn't really bringing up his wife as much as his kids were, and it's an entirely sketchy situation. We might be able to talk about it a little bit later, but as of right now, like I said, I've left you guys in the lurch long enough. Let's get into this. And yes, like I was going to say about the Rumble folks, I know Vice likes to copyright claim their videos after the fact. So if you're watching on YouTube, and at any point in time this goes down before I give the sayonara, it's not me who's pulling it down, okay? It's not me, and you can just go over to Rumble. They're totally copacetic when it comes to stupid copyright claims. And yeah, on the early side of this stuff, where I'm going to try to send out some notifications on Twitter and all that shit, try to get some people up in here. So yeah, without further ado, if it goes down, head over to Rumble. And if you're on Rumble, you're already ahead of the curve. You're one of the cool motherfuckers. Or just hop into both chats. They're fun as fuck. You can... Oh, the only thing that we figured this out on the Saturday. I swear to God, we'll get to this in a second. But we figured out you can't say fuck, or what else couldn't you say? Because we had a couple of towers running, but obviously I'm pretty sure you can say one of the other words. But you can't say fuck, and I think there was another word that you can't say. You can definitely say the rainbow F slur, but it's weird. It's weird. Those are the only words that you can't say over there, but we got some mods in case somebody wants to spam a fucking phone number. Shit's weird over there every once in a while. I love Rumble. I love the folks that turn out on YouTube. YouTube as a platform can go get fucked, but until further ado, we got a panel to react to. So if you guys are, well, if you haven't seen this one before, you're in good company. So I'll take a look at the chat. I'll be commenting over top of this. We got it at, I'm pretty sure, $1.25 speed, because it's 45 odd minutes long. And yeah, I want to talk about all of it. Yeah, it goes, okay, yeah, 43 minutes. It goes 43 minutes, and yeah, $1.25, which is pretty good speed. So if it's too harmful for anybody, let me know in either of the chats. I'll be bouncing back and forth between the two. So without further ado,
when we have no barriers today, so we can
let me know if the sound's good. It looks good, but
don't have barriers.
Women, yeah. What's
we have no
you?
barriers.
You can do whatever you want.
I can, or you can.
What's stopping you?
Yeah. What's stopping you? Oh, my wheelchair. Well, not everybody's in a wheelchair, dumb motherfucker.
Should we mark this bad boy at all? Oh my goodness.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know why she's worried about marking any spots. It's not like, well, unless she doesn't have fucking tire chalk then.
Hi, welcome everybody. I'm Liz Landers. I'm Vice News' chief political correspondent, and we are here today to talk about some of the biggest issues dividing women across the country. In other words, we're here to talk about feminism. First, I just want to say, we know we can't represent everybody's views, but we did try our best to bring together a diverse group of women today. In today's polarized world, is feminism dead? You guys saw your hand.
I think that depends on the definition of feminism.
That's a trans man, by the way.
I strongly think that feminism is more of an action than an identity. I would say it's uplifting all women, in which case it's very alive. At the same time,
I can't believe how disconnected feminists are just from the broader societal scale. They still think that anybody's buying the line that, oh, feminism is just about it's just about equality. We've done more research on feminism and known that they've always just been a terrorist organization, that they've just, been bombing places in order to get their way all the way back from the 1800s. And if it wasn't for one simp in the Senate, I think it was a senator from Kentucky. This is what I heard. Okay, I need to do the research on that stuff. But yes, one senator who got a note from his mother. He was going to vote no to the 19th Amendment to ratify it, but no. He got a note from his mom that those women out there shouldn't be, forced for selective services. They should just be able to be afforded. They should just simply get the right to vote. Fucking stupid.
if we do follow that definition, feminism has splintered off into so many different areas that you can look at people like Sheryl Sandberg, who say you should just get another nanny if you feel oppressed. And if we're
Yes, Sheryl Sandberg, the former COO at Facebook, she pushed the whole feminist ideal rather for everybody else to. Basically, she laid the groundwork of the city girl society that we have right now. She's a terrible example. She has this fallacy in her mind that everybody is simply just as driven and career-oriented as her. So yeah, you can go out there and you can go fuck around without any of the consequences that are going to be out there, and your life is totally going to be fine. Not realizing that most of the women that are even on that panel right there don't even come close to having her same level of work ethic. It just conflating her expert level, a drive to succeed to just the regular chick that's out there. I don't want to give up on my career. Bitch, you work as a fucking barista. You ain't giving up shit.
talking about that kind of feminism, yeah, it's pretty dead.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the human race exists, feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're going to have to strive and work towards to make sure that there's equality. So feminism is not dead.
I don't know that it can die. As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity. And until that somehow goes away, feminism is alive and well.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us. I think feminism
shout out, Pearl.
it's really about women wanting special privileges and treatment at the expense of men often. And I think it's alive and well, sadly.
There we go. I forgot the app works. Oh yeah, and if you weren't using Rumble because the app sucked, it got an update last week at some point in time. Fucking tremendously better. The only thing that you can't do is Rumble Rant, which is their equivalent to Super Chat. But outside of that, functionality's fully there.
I think feminism is also alive and well. There are different kinds of feminism, right? Like, that is obvious.
No, there isn't.
And for me, as a womanist, as a Black feminist, right, as someone who's really thinking about human rights, dignity, right, equity.
Okay, describes herself in totality, just all of the different immutable characteristics that she has. Well, as a Black feminist, yeah, so I went to describe how I am different than everybody else, but I care about human rights, as long as they're on a hierarchy. Come on there, She does. You know what? She says that she's all of those things, but you know what else she is? A hell of a good stand-in for a palm tree.
Right, as long as that need isn't met, we're still gonna keep fighting.
I'd say it's alive and well. I'd say that it's also very nuanced, and I think what it looks like is going to differ depending on where you are in the world. For me, I just see it as a lens, which isn't necessarily antagonistic or protagonistic. It's just a useful tool.
Similar to what Pearl just said, I find that a lot of feminist ideology and thought today feels more of like a supremacist movement rather than something that is supposed to be advancing the goals of equality. I don't think that we can really term what's going on as feminism because it looks so different to, I think, the earlier feminist movement. So in that way, I would say it's taken its last breaths of life. It's dying.
Yeah, I definitely think it's getting more and more radicalized, for sure. So it's definitely still alive.
I think I'll preface and say that I don't know so much about modern Western feminism, and there might be a lot of terms that
I can't wait for the one point, because I remember one clip that I watched, and oh boy, is she a central figure in that. And she makes those coins that she has emblazoned on her vest really jingle jangle.
I don't know, like political jargon and stuff, but I believe in the advancement of women, whoever.
I don't know a lot about what we're talking about, but I believe in... Okay, great, fantastic. You've already poisoned the well, so I know that what you're about to say isn't going to have any bearing on the validity of the claims that you're going to be making.
Or considers themselves a woman. I think there's a deficiency in society. So it's deeply rooted that feminism has always existed. I think America's a little obsessed with themselves, and it's like always feminism is rooted in America. And like, oh, white women started it, and it's...
Well, that's where it started. The Seneca Falls Convention, 1858.
Kind of offensive because for thousands of years, women have been dying for their rights.
What are you doing to actually improve their lot in life? If you care so much about that, are you out there at the advice of Andrew Tate during his final Piers Morgan interview? Well, so far, are you taking up arms and you're going to go fight for women's rights in Afghanistan? Oh, no, right. You just, whatever you can accomplish on Twitter.
I think as a Black woman specifically, when you talk about feminism, the mainstream first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to
comport well with the attributes that you'd also associate to Black women.
Exclude still, even today, even with intersectional feminism, exclude African-American women. And it's always kind of done that. And also like, upper middle class white women has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
I think feminism is attempting to say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman. What it ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a Black woman and being a Black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further. You have more barriers, you have more friction, you are less able to get what you want. You're undervalued in a way that's like, okay, well, that.
No, maybe you're appropriately valued. Listen, I wouldn't ask you to grab anything off of a shelf. I'd probably ask you to scare anybody away at the front. You'd make a great Walmart greeter by just giving people the side eye and kind of creeping them out. That'd be the best place for you.
That's life. That's what I mean by equity, and that we're able to, without friction, all get the same needs met.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. See, I disagree with that. I think life is easier if you're a girl.
Yes.
Actually, I think there's a lot of benefits that men don't have. I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah, I would say it's easier being a girl.
Yeah, 100%. like outside of FNF, they bring it up. It's like, okay, outside of the double standard, the one double standard that benefits men, where, yeah, okay, if they have a high body count, it doesn't really reflect negatively against them, but still, that also implies that that guy is high enough value in order to accrue that many notches on their headboard. But as for a woman, yeah, because she can literally go outside, spread her legs, and, you know, a dick will be there like that, it's not valued at the same level. So that's about the only thing that's different. Outside of that, affirmative action, hiring incentive programs, lowered standards. There's nothing that a woman can't get easier than a man can in today's day and age. I'm not going to complain about it. Shit, yeah, man. We know the rules. We just play within them, okay?
From a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying, and that you're
Telling Pearl about pretty privilege?
white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted, and so
they call me ugly on the internet all the time.
True and true.
They roasting me daily. I swear to God.
And that's true. That's pretty true.
I don't mean to say I think you're gorge. I just mean that there is a certain value that we give to certain bodies.
I mean, let's also dig into why.
Yo, that's also the Ben Shapiro argument. If you guys were around on the Rumble stream, brought up that, the halo effect, if you believe that somebody possesses superior abilities in certain areas, you think that they're good in all areas as well. That's, so old Wheels McGillicuddy there is also a Daily Wire subscriber. Shout out.
Why these quotas exist and why these, what you're calling
because we
privileges
want special
exist.
treatment.
No, it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer women. And
Yeah, there's also been a problem with nepotism for a long time in certain areas, but again, we're just going to go ahead and cherry pick the extremes in order to disprove a point.
Because of sexism.
How is it sexism when we have no barriers today? So we can pick
has
what
no
we want to
barriers?
pick.
Who doesn't have barriers?
Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do whatever
barriers.
you want. What's
I
stopping
can
you?
or you can?
What's stopping you? As a woman,
Yeah, there's ramps everywhere. Come on.
woman.
As a woman.
As a woman, as a
See,
woman.
That ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well,
I would guarantee that you would get preferential treatment anywhere.
As I
You don't
said
have to
before, I'm
think about
speaking about women. I'm not.
You're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as an
able-bodied
able-bodied
white woman.
I
that is
understand.
white.
Presents white.
Of course, there's going to be other barriers if you're disabled. I'm sure. Like I'm talking about as a woman.
So you're
I
just
would
going to
agree.
ignore
White
the
women
pay
have it
gap.
easier. Yes, I would agree.
What?
You're just going to ignore the pay gap, regulation over bodies.
pay gap has been-
Did this fucking half a dude really just say the pay gap?
The pay gap doesn't exist.
my friend.
It doesn't. It's the industries that women pick.
Let's talk about it.
There's a pay gap, but it's because women don't want to do the hardest industries.
I don't think it's that simple. I think that's an oversimplification.
Ugh.
I think the fact of the matter
Sorry,
is that
just
women
had to get
structure
that
their
out.
lives differently to men. Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver most of the time. Women also don't hold jobs for as long as men do. They often will stop and start. They'll go back into work. They'll take time off. They'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into why they think that they should take these jobs, which is societal sexism. And then also, Department of Labor, all statistics, at least speaking in the U.S., have found that when compared for the same jobs, there still is a pay gap, particularly when it pertains to race.
Because 60% of women have never asked for a raise. So how can you complain about your pay if you don't
Why
ask
are they
for it?
not asking?
Wait, what happens when women ask for a raise?
Sorry, I've been
They just are given the raise and told to fuck off because they're so annoying. But no, seriously, it's as simple as asking. And then also, because this was actually interesting. I don't think I've ever told this story before. It's not salacious or anything like that, but I forget exactly what the court. I think it was Business Management 1 or something like that. It was a sweet old lady who taught my class, and she was exceptionally good. This was in college, by the way. And she said, whenever you're going into, okay, you got a job or something like that, and then you go into your boss's office, the best way that you can, advocate for your own pay raise is to have a document, have a folder full of the documents that prove that you are worthy of either advancement, okay, worthy of a raise, worthy of a promotion, and give your employer all of the reasons that they need to retain you, that they need to incentivize you in order to be staying around. So yeah, if you do that, and that was told to me by a nice little, elderly lady, okay, and that's the way that she comported herself. And yeah, no, she worked her way up. I forget, like she was up a whole bunch of different rungs on the ladder, and yeah, she was nothing, physically imposing. She didn't really have a booming voice or anything like that. But hey, man, she was really good at her job. She had the documents to prove it, and that's what she told the class to do. Hey, you want to move up? Well, you tell people, make them aware of your worth, and they'll pay you accordingly. Somebody's only going to pay you something that the market deems you are worth. And if you accept that, well, that's what you're worth. But if you advocate for more, well, chances are you're going to figure out very quickly if you're worth that much or if you're good where you're at.
I've been wanting to say something, but I want to be respectful. I don't want to interrupt people, and I want to let them finish their thoughts.
Jump in, just
but
go through the wall.
It is a very privileged label, right, to be able to say that you're feminist, right? And I say that because I come from a working class background of Dominican immigrant parents. My mother would not necessarily identify as a feminist. I look to my mother, and I do think of her as a feminist. A lot of my ideas and my empowerment comes from seeing her survive and put food on the table. When I'm thinking about feminism, I'm always thinking about who's not part of the conversation. What are the barriers? How do we think about equity? How do we think about self-empowerment and agency and having a voice, right, and having choice? And thinking about our basic human rights, education, access to health, homes, having bread, having food, and those things are very important, right? And they're at the crux, right, of what a lot of us here know that we need.
And how is that to any woman that's out there? Okay, 3/4 of homeless people are men. Okay, what are the government? Any of the government's what the fuck am I looking for? Safety nets that are in society that are denied to women. Okay, most of them are set up in order to benefit a single mother or just a woman who's out there on the stroll. So the fact that you are deprived of your basic human needs, that's a fallacy. You're trying to pull out an extreme from a movie that you've seen. There's no validity to that at all whatsoever. And yeah, there's hiring incentives, quotas in states like California and Washington, all the way up the worst coast. You need to have a certain amount of women there, regardless if they qualify for the job or not. They just simply need a snatch in that seat.
It's there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore that are very much systemic and micro.
And again, so far during this short little bit, and I'm still trying to write a tweet out and all that stuff, but no, I'm still catching all this babble that they're all spewing so far. It's just a bunch of nebulous jargon. All of these barriers, all of these problems, everything that's holding us back. Can you define any of this stuff? Can we get some definitions down? No? Oh, okay.
Aggressive, right? We see them and experience them every day.
Like what? In the U.S.,
So,
like what?
What would you like to know an example of?
I know you said that there's barriers. I want to know what barriers in the U.S. today as a woman.
There we go.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color? Let's be specific.
As a woman.
And we don't.
A barrier as a woman of color, okay, in regards to, again, what are you talking about? Because yes, you have the female quota, and then you have the minority quota on top of that. It's it fucking writes itself. Oh, sorry.
Woman.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
I just feel like your question is kind of hostile when you're like, there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have a privilege where you're not facing any friction, and that's showing, and I feel like it's
You have privilege because you have feet. Well, to be fair, though, you save half the money on your wardrobe.
An American, you're very privileged.
I'm not ignoring that. We're at a basic level of what the feminist movement is when it comes to just being born a woman, right? Physically, pound for pound, we are born as women and we have less lean muscle mass than men. So there are issues of violence and assault and stuff like that. And so therefore, there are policies, there are things to help women physically, like, for example, I believe being able to carry a firearm and being able to use that safely to defend yourself against men who are born naturally with more muscle mass than a woman.
I keep hearing the term equity. What would a world that has equity look like? Would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be prison, 50%?
That's equality.
50%. So what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been
oh my God, you're going to mansplain equity?
arguing for equality, but what does that give us? 0.5 of the 1% being women. This doesn't really do anything for us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness. And this would mean that we remove systemic barriers to engage in society, not just for women, but also for everyone.
So which barriers?
Those barriers that you don't believe in.
What does it do for you to have a bunch of ramps in your life? It doesn't do shit. I need those ramps, right?
Can we stick to male versus female? That's my question. So I'm thinking male versus female.
But my
Yeah, this is supposed to be about feminism. Why the fuck are we getting bogged down in this intersectional babble over here? Okay, we got Legless and McGillicuddy up there in the front row, and then we got this bitch talking about race. We all got cooters over here. Can we just talk about that? That'd be great.
feminism includes ability, it includes
but my
race.
question is
You
for
guys
women.
can talk.
Women
You can
versus men. Like what barriers do we need removed? Because that's my statement. I'm not stating anything else. I'm stating women versus men.
It's very silly.
So what barrier? I just want to
Okay, if it's simple, fucking lie it out there, stupid. If it was apparently so terrible to be a woman, why would you switch teams?
Yeah, but
It's not a fair question. It's
how is it not a fair question?
Kind of proving the point of why what people, especially black women, other people who are anybody who's not white,
God.
why we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means,
Elaborate.
I'm just gonna say it means that. Like it means that you've already gone to a pinnacle of whatever you think your happiness.
I don't want to have to justify my position. All I want to do is just pull the race card because white lady back there is, she's pressing me for facts, and I don't like that. That's like slavery and shit.
Needs or whatever your survivalist needs are when there are people on lower end who are trying to survive, who are trying to get to a point of what should be normal. Based on what other people have.
It sort of sounds like you're saying feminism is not always inclusive then.
Right. It's most of the time it's not inclusive. It's more times than not. It's not. So and within the just feminism space, again, there obviously the very basic is male versus female versus, but unfortunately we've only had one subset of women be the face and voice and the academics and research and everything to be able to say, well, that's the standard we need to be in when there are other people who are still trying to get to some type of normalcy and just living.
What is the biggest...
Oh my god, stupid YouTube being the big gay. Let's see if I can just kind of fix this for a second. See, trying to add all of this stuff yet. I gotta pause for a second. Let's see. Got it pause. Oh, there it is. Got it pause. Okay. Back. Yeah, see, I knew this was gonna be, fucking retarded, but that's why I said. That's why I advocate for the Rumble, because Rumble is best. That's for true. So, unfortunately, yeah, for anybody who's like, oh, you pause too much, well, you see the fucking consequences, even though it doesn't change on the replay. Or, yeah, if you run it back later, but don't worry about it. We'll try our best here.
Issue, then, that feminism faces?
I think it's the mindset. Women taking the agency, women taking initiative. I think it's mindset holding them back a lot, because if you want to be in a competitive world and compete, you have to have the right mindset. And I think a lot of people blame their lack of confidence or what society tells them for the reason that they're not achieving what they need to achieve, when that's not the case.
Yeah, no, that's 1000% true. If you go in with a defeatist mindset that you're going to be the victim in society whenever you try to accomplish anything, then yeah, of course, that's what's that Watson face is fucking throwing me off there for a sec. That's not a whole hell of a lot better, but let's go with that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better, but no, yeah. It's really just a change in mindset. Like, that's applicable for both men and women. If you just walk in, just think about it. You go in for an interview for a place that you just sent out a resume hoping that you'd get the job, but never think that you were going to get a call back because it's such a prestigious place. If you go in with a defeatist attitude that, oh God, they're just throwing me this opportunity. Oh yeah, I know I'm just going to fumble the bag when I get there. Or if you go in with a mindset that, yo, they're going to give me an opportunity, I'm absolutely going to crush this shit. So it's all about, it kind of sounds a little fucking fruity, but it's all about positive reinforcement in your mind. And if the chicks out there can wrap their mind around that, okay, some of you in the chat notwithstanding, okay, because you guys already fucking know this stuff anyways, yeah, it's as simple as making a couple of changes.
Tells them
I know that sounds reductive. God damn it. I know that sounds reductive, but it's actually very true.
For the reason that they're not achieving what they need to achieve, when that's not the case. You have to have the mindset of achieving, because the men who built the world had the mindset of building it. So the women who want to engage and build that further, they need to have that same mindset.
I don't think we do. I think that's like assuming that we all want to be capitalist babies.
Right.
I think that men are not well adjusted in the society, and women are not trying to re-embody what they...
Remember, this is about feminism, and she just dropped a spicy capitalism. If it wasn't for capitalism, you would still be walking around, bleeding from your crotch once every month. And also, yeah, Name another economic ideology or economic system that has produced more upward trajectory than capitalism. Prior to the coup, something that Jordan Peterson would constantly point out was that capitalism was actually abolishing and getting rid of, I hate to be redundant, but yeah, it was raising up the quality of life and then also eradicating world hunger at a level in which was thought to be at least 20 years ahead of what was actually happening. But no, that was all changing because you had incentive structures. But no, she's just going to go ahead and blame capitalism because women in higher places of status and being able to make more decisions on top of all this stuff, well, that's really producing more socialist policies, which has made the situation worse. Okay, cool, but it's capitalism's fault. Right, forgot about that.
They have built for us. I think that like what we're forgetting is a very important detail, which is just like human respect and dignity, and not asking people to prove what their experience is and to prove to you, like it is like such conservative thinking to say like, I don't understand, explain it to me, versus just saying, I don't understand and let me respect what you are saying.
No, I'm respecting wherever your starting point. I'm respecting that. I'm really respecting that. I'm saying that if you don't have the mindset you can even achieve it, you're never going to even try. So it's never...
achieve what? Like, what are we talking about? Because I feel like you projected this like capitalist ideology on every woman.
Achieve whatever it is you're looking for, equality, equity. But what I'm saying is women in the feminist space and a lot of these other spaces, we don't acknowledge that we have to take the initiative. We have to take the action. We have to have the mindset. We have to demand those things.
I don't understand how we're getting so off topic. This is about feminism today, whereas everybody wants to make this about their individual, here are all the multitude of other things that
Rare Sydney W. I had to pause, this being retarded.
factor into my...
We'll see how they talk on the masculinity side. Might just speed it up to 1.5. Just to, appease the gods. And, shout out to everybody that's still over on YouTube and survived a little skir there for a second.
Person, great. This is about feminism. It's about womanhood. I understand that all of you have your own individual experiences and the other things that feed into you as a person. That's perfectly fine. But this is where intersectionality falls off the planet and loses, I would argue, probably the vast majority of people, including me. I'm not even a feminist. I don't give a crap about
Oh, your history in Australia would beg to differ.
Arguing amongst themselves about who's the most victimized. But this is annoying to listen to. I honestly I don't understand anything anybody's even trying to get at.
Look, I just want to say that I don't think equity and this concept of competition can't coexist with each other. Equity is...
Jim Sterling
is building more facilities for people who need them. It is recognizing that there are holes in the market and there's opportunities for women and feminine...
Like, I got a pretty deep voice, but...
expansive people and meeting those opportunities. I think equity can buoy the pre-existing system that we live in a good way.
And this is where we're going to get to what I think.
By size, by color, like what are we talking?
I think the real feminist arguments are based off of policy, and abortion is the biggest one.
How many of you would identify as pro-choice? Let's do a show of hands for pro-choice.
I feel like pro-choice is pro-life, though.
Yeah. Okay, and folks who identify as pro-life? Why do you identify as each?
You've gone from legal, safe, rare to...
punch card.
Yeah, I'm so proud. Let me beatbox in front of the Planned Parenthood. Yeah, I got murder on my mind. The fact that it's celebrated that murdering children, especially in late-term pregnancies, is celebrated, that people are so proud of themselves for mutilating a fetus is just, it blows my mind. And I don't think that you need to be pro-life to even take that stance.
Yeah, and if you think, because this happened, 3 months ago? Since then, there's been another pro-abortion bill in Michigan. I could get up the specifics, but it basically mirrors what's going on in California, where, okay, you have the kid, and it's like, are you sure you want to have the kid? Because we have tools that can take care of that for you if you'd like. So, yeah, it's a little screwy.
Late-term pregnancy. Yes. A lot of abortions do.
So yeah, to also hear, an old fucking palm tree hair there, now to say that, it's completely different, it doesn't matter, they're rolling back our right to choose. In fact, there's a bunch of different states that are moving in opposite directions for as many that are moving towards, get this, a 6-week abortion ban when you can figure out, something quite isn't right. And, it's still your metaphorical clump of cells. You can get rid of that stuff. Meanwhile, when it's, got a active brain and a working ticker, still a clump of cells. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? It's medically viable in a NICU center, but no, you can get rid of it because it hasn't magically fallen out of your, disgusting fucking cum catcher. Like, come on now.
To my mind, and I don't think that you need to be pro-life to even take that stance.
You said late-term pregnancy.
Yes.
A lot of abortions do not happen.
I made the distinction.
Oh, okay, cool. A lot of them don't happen then. Oh, okay, cool. So in actuality, most pregnancies don't result in abortion, so why don't we just get rid of all of them then?
Specifically because lots of people still celebrate. There are people who, when the laws were passed actually here in New York, they said, yes, great, yes, I love the fact
but
that...
you need to ask about what are people celebrating, right? They're celebrating access. We're
Well,
not
well, that's
celebrating
okay.
killing kids. Like, that's
But
not what
then
it
why-
is.
well, so this is what I'm
So,
saying.
like,
When-
here's the thing. When we're talking about access to reproductive health and to abortion rights, right, and to being pro-choice...
Oh my god. YouTube. Wow, YouTube just ended the stream. Yeah, stream unavailable, suspended for fucking policy. God damn it. Fucking Christ. Bro, this is ridiculous. Oh my god. All the good people over here at Rumble, you know, you guys are just absolutely, you know, fucking total chads. Could just wait. Let's just see. Okay. It's like, yeah, we got a much better turnout, okay? Stream is no longer blocked due to copyright. Oh, it's no longer it's no longer blocked, you fucking dick suckers. I hate them. I hate them. It's interesting. Okay, let's see if this is even worth it. Okay, thanks, Ed. I really do appreciate it. It's like, fuck, what do we got here? I don't even know if it's worth it at this point. I don't know if it's worth... Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it. I think I'm about a 10 to 15 second delay on this one. Yeah, stream's back up. I know this. Yeah, the stream's back up. Yeah, we're back up on viewers on this one. Yeah, of course. Oh fuck yeah, Ed, you weren't in the chat on Sunday. Otherwise, I would have modded you over there on Rumble. I'll make sure to take care of that. Yeah. This is why I don't see a lot of reactions to these panels that are right here. So it's interesting. Yeah. I'm just glad Rumble exists. I'm glad that Rumble exists over here, and that's for 1000%. I'm just gonna go ahead and while we're just waiting here for a second, I got the opportunity. Don't mind me. Maybe we will see. I just want to see here for a second, see if it's going to be too annoying on this one. I'm going to see if we can skirt it by putting it at 1.5 speed. We'll see if that happens then. Let's see. I can go back to this to make sure that I'm live over here. There we go. We got great turnout over on Rumble, by the way, and I'm really close, really close to hitting 1,000 that I can get verified, and that would be terrific. But if not, fuck it. I'm just glad that places like Rumble exist so we can play this stuff. So if you guys don't mind, in order to keep this up, we'll go to 1.5. We'll see what it sounds like. If it's total ass cancer, then yeah, we'll fix it up and we'll just throw it back. But we'll see. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to, start hitting pause more often and just adding snide remarks. So without further ado, we'll go back.
Listen, that's your body. You do you.
The child is not your body.
As I go.
A baby.
It's so scary for me to hear people.
It's hilarious because the first person to chime in on it's like, okay, yeah, abortion and all that stuff is the one that can't get pregnant. There's there's structures not in place.
People calling like guns the biggest equalizer for women, but taking their choices away from them at a policy level. Why is that? Having a gun is an equalizer.
It is.
Having rights is an equalizer.
Yeah,
having choice is an equalizer.
Like a gun right.
And in this country, the policies that are pushed to continue perpetuating patriarchy and anti-women, like taking the autonomy away from women, it is heartbreaking to see women pushing that propaganda. No, it's all brainwash. Like
it's brainwash because you don't agree with me.
Yeah, the one that brings up socialism is, just all of a sudden going, oh my god, they got the patriarchy. Is 1.5 all right? Is 1.5 all right? I'll check over here on YouTube as well. Yeah, stream's back. So if that's fine for you guys, we'll keep it right there for the time being because it's being, super fucking retarded and it kind of pisses me off. Like, I don't want to undercut the Rumble experience because, hey, man, if you guys can watch over on Rumble, I'd appreciate it. If that ticker goes down to 0, I can just tell YouTube to go fuck its mother. But, as for the time being, if it's all good, that's over here. So, yeah, okay. It's like I'm saying, send it. Hopefully the masculinity one goes a little bit smoother when it comes to just going blah, 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 blah. My intersectional talking points are more oppressive than yours. Blah, 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 blah.